Good morning and welcome. You are watching Live and Breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri and we begin with news that's just coming in. The Congress, in fact, has issued a show cause notice to Azad loyalists and former legislator GN Monga and Vikas Rasool Wani. The show cause notice comes after the duo held a private program in a hotel in Srinagar and named that as the Sankalp Shivir. 2 weeks' time was given to Azad loyalists to reply to that show cause notice. I think we've got Gursimran reporting on this. He'll just join us in a bit. But what we understand is that the Congress party has issued a show cause notice to Ghulam Nabi Azad's loyalists and former legislator GN Monga and Vikas Rasool Wani. Now, this comes after GN Monga and Vikas Rasool Wani had held a private program at a hotel in Srinagar and named that as the Sankalp Shivir. Now, 2 weeks' time has been given to these two to reply to the show cause notice that's been issued by the Congress party. Now, what we understand is, of course, that the Congress is looking at dissent from its Jammu and Kashmir unit as well, and there have been several murmurs against the top leadership there as well. Gursimran joining us live now. Gursimran, good morning. Give us more details, of the program that was held. We understand it was held in a hotel in Srinagar, and apart from that, give us also more details on the kind of action that has been taken.
See, a show cause notice has been issued to the Azad loyalists Vikas Rasool Wani and Ghulam Nabi Monga by the Congress leadership in Jammu and Kashmir, and this has been done as they have held a separate program, a parallel Shivir, Sankalp Shivir, that was held by the J&K Congress, and they were the invitees in the official function of the Congress that was held from 31st of May to 2nd of June in the Patintop area of Ramban, where the top leadership of the J&K Congress, including AICC General Secretary from J&K Affairs Rajni Patil, was also present, and during this only a resolution was passed that Rahul Gandhi be asked to take the leadership of the Congress. So this was the program, the official program, but these two leaders, Vikas Rasool Wani and GN Monga, they decided to hold a separate program in a private hotel in Srinagar, in which they named it, when the press release was issued, Nav Sankalp Samaro was the program, that Nav Sankalp Shivir was the name of the program they gave it, and now the Congress leadership in Jammu and Kashmir has issued them a show cause notice. They have been asked to reply within 2 weeks about why not action be initiated against them. So the gap between the Congress, J&K Congress and the Azad lobby is getting wider, with the lobby boycotting the official program of the Congress and also holding a parallel program in Srinagar at the same dates.
Absolutely. As you're pointing out, of course, there has been considerable dissent over this. Now, give us also a sense of, Gursimran, how many people from the state unit actually attended this privately held Sankalp Shivir?
There are a handful of leaders that have attended, because two main leaders were GN Monga and Vikas Rasool Wani. Other were the Congress workers that have attended this program led by the Azad faction in a Srinagar hotel. There was no big face even from the Azad lobby, but yes, Azad lobby has boycotted the official function of the Congress party, and at one side the Congress was holding their Nav Chintan Shivir that was in Jammu, Ramban district, while on the other hand in the Kashmir, Srinagar, the Congress, the Azad loyalists were holding their own Nav Sankalp Shivir. So that was what has ached the J&K leadership of the Congress, and they, with the consent of the party's AICC in charge, Rajni Patil, has issued 2 weeks, with the 2 weeks time, a notice to these loyalists of the Azad.
Now, any comments, Gursimran, that we are getting at this moment from these two leaders who actually hosted this Shivir after the show cause notice was issued to them?
No, there is a complete silence by these leaders, and they haven't said anything, and probably they won't be replying to the notice either, as this has been the strategy adopted by them.
All right, so as Gursimran is pointing out, it's unlikely that these leaders will speak on this. But what we understand is that a show cause notice has been issued by the Congress party to these two leaders who held a private show cause notice. Now, what we understand is that these two leaders, of course, are legislators GN Monga and Vikas Rasool Wani, who have held this private Chintan Shivir, which was held at a hotel in Srinagar. There is, of course, a deepening rift within the Jammu and Kashmir unit of the Congress party, as we have seen a pro-Azad group and one that's against it. And, of course, this Shivir, the timing, of course, is questionable because it did take place at the same time as the other Shivir was taking place. So, obviously, questions are being raised about it. But this also, remember, comes at a time when we've had a resolution really come in from the Jammu and Kashmir Congress saying that Rahul Gandhi should now become president of this Congress party. So there are dissenting voices and one doesn't really know who holds sway currently. But obviously, but obviously things are not looking very good for the Congress at the moment. On the phone line with me is Mr. RP Singh. Mr. Singh, good morning. Mr. Singh, how do you see this new show cause notice that has been issued to people who are believed to be loyal to Ghulam Nabi Azad?
Well, there's a clear division between the old loyalists and the Wadra Congress now, and the family doesn't want to take along the old loyalists, the party loyalists, and they're looking for people who are loyalists to the dynasty. And that's the reason there is now clear division in Jammu Kashmir Congress.
All right, so you see this as a clear divide within the Congress party?
Yes, there's a clear divide in the JMK Congress party, and it's just because people who are loyal to Azad Saab, so they have been targeted now.
All right. Mr. RP Singh, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you very much for joining us. So that's the latest that we are getting, that there's been a show cause notice that has been issued to Ghulam Nabi Azad's loyalists and former legislators from the Congress party, that's G.N. Monga and Vicar Rasool Wani. Now, the show cause notice was issued because they held a private program at a Srinagar hotel, and it was called the Sankalp Shivir. Now, this particular private program, of course, we understand was also attended by several Congress workers. Now, the Congress, of course, has taken umbrage at it and asked for the two leaders to explain themselves in the show cause notice. We haven't had any comment yet come in from these two leaders.